Welcome to today's episode of Football Scientific. I am Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for the UFL News Hub and the CFL News Hub. I cover the San Antonio Browns of the UFL, the Hamilton Tigercats of the CFL. I cover the IFL, the Indoor Football League, the NAL, National Arena League, and the ELF, the European League of Football. And in these episodes, we talk about the NFLs all as well. I just don't write about them. So, what we're doing today is Thursday. UFL games start tomorrow. IFL games start tomorrow. Reminder, tonight the NAL starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, Shreveport Rougarou go to the Idaho Horsemen and look to go 2-1. Okay, against Idaho Horsemen. Idaho Horsemen are 0-2. This would be a huge game for the Rougarou. Because they win this, they got a chance to be in tied for the top spot in the American Conference. If they lose this, they're definitely going to be like fourth place in the American Conference. So that's a big difference. Remember, every top two teams in both conferences, National Conference, American Conference, go to the playoffs. So you want to be in the top two. All right. But first we're going to lead off with the UFL predictions. UFL games for this week start tomorrow night. Okay, Friday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox once again. We have a major matchup. We have the Birmingham Stallions, who are 0-1, traveling to the Michigan Panthers, who are 1-0. Okay? Usually it's the other way around. But right now, Birmingham took that loss to the DC Defenders. Michigan came out and got a win against Memphis Showboats. According to DraftKings, the Stallions are a 2.5 point favorite. And that makes the Michigan Panthers 2.5 underdog. Okay, and the over-under is 38.5. I have not seen, I don't know if anyone's seen the Birmingham Stallions lose 2 games in a row before. It's never really happened. So I don't expect that to happen. I expect the Stallions, they made some adjustments in their O-line. I expect them to come out and get back after last week. I don't think the Michigan Panthers are as good as the DC Defenders. I think their quarterback, Bryce Perkins, he's going to be leading the offense again. He's pretty good. He manages the game. But he'll make mistakes if you force him to, and I think they'll force him to, okay? So what they need to do, if you're the Panthers, you got to be able to establish a run game. You got to establish a run game. They didn't do a great job of that against Memphis. A lot of it was the passing game, but you got to establish a run game, and you got to make sure you play some defense, especially on the defensive line. They do have one of the better defensive lines in the UFL. So that could be trouble for the Birmingham Stallions against DC. They came out and really had a hard time, especially at their tackle positions. They had a hard time handling the rushers of the DC Defenders. DC's going to bring the heat. Greg Williams, D coordinator at DC, is known for years for bringing the heat. He's going to bring the heat from all angles. But those ends, off the edges, even double-edged pressure, was killing the Birmingham Stallions, getting Alex Magoo hit. Alex Magoo will start the game again, although someone told me today they thought Matt Corral should get a chance. But I've seen Matt Corral play. I did not agree. Okay, they've added a couple linemen, Chris DeLaura and Deontay Brown, and tight end Jay Sturber will be the number 1 tight end for them. He was not last week. He is back. He may help set an edge for outside zone runs and things of that nature, buck sweeps to get outside. Trying to get away from the interior line where they got, running right at people, they were okay, but when they try to hit the edges, any kind of zone play off the edge, they really got ate up. That's part of Greg Williams' scheme, though, too. So, Michigan Panthers, I got this Birmingham Stallions winning this game on the road, 25-20, and I got it hitting the over. The over-under is 38.5. I got it hitting 45. I think both teams are going to come out and move the ball. It's an indoor game, so, Ford Field. I don't think weather's going to be a concern. I think both teams will move the ball. I think you're going to see some points on that board from the Stallions and the Panthers. I'm hoping for a close game, but I do think the Stallions will come out and win this game, especially against the Panthers. They have, last year they had a lot of issues, especially in the championship game, the USFL championship game, because the Stallions were down big, like 18 points in the first half, and then roared back and beat the Michigan Panthers. I could see something like that happen again. I could see the Panthers jump out to a big lead, and Birmingham having to come back and steal the game from them on the road. Like I said, over/under. I'm going over. I'm going with 45 points. The over/under is 38.5. Okay, so that's Friday's game. That's tomorrow. Okay, Saturday, April 5th, 8 p.m. on ABC, another TV, regular free TV. Okay, Memphis Showboats 0-1 travel to the DC Defenders. 1-0. This might get ugly, okay? Only because the Showboats really struggled up front. They've struggled up front for the last 2 years for pass protection. The run game looked a little better last week than I expected against the Michigan Panthers, so they might be able to come run the ball. But I think against this defensive front, they're going to see so much crap coming at them that their quarterback's going to get ate up. That's Bryce Perkins. He's going to get eaten up by the DC defenders. Defense. Offensively, where the Showboats got a chance is that Jordan Teamu was not very efficient last week. He didn't throw the game away. He managed the game, but he went 17 for 37, and they really didn't run the ball that well. So they came out and ground out a win. They had to come grind a win. The defense was really the main thing. That shows in the rewards for the week for the UFL, the awards. Defensive Player of the Week was Anthony Hines, the third from the DC Defenders, and Special Teams Matt McClain for the DC Defenders was Special Teams Player of the Week. So, I mean, that shows, they were successful. Memphis, I think Ken Wisenhunt is coming back to lead Memphis. That might make a difference on offense. But I think Memphis is not built well to sustain the pressure of the DC Defenders' defense. I don't know who is. Last year, they didn't have a very good defensive line, and the defensive backfield was not very good. They seem to have fixed that, so they could be a very dangerous team, DC Defenders game, with that defense. They just need to get their offense fixed, okay? So DraftKings has this being an 8-point spread. DC Defenders are favored at home by 8 points. The Memphis Showboats are, underdog by 8 points. The over-under is 37. I get this game going 26-9, because I expect the Defenders' defense to come out and lay the smackdown. With Greg Williams, he blitzes a lot, and that does, he mans up, and it does make him susceptible to giving up big plays. But I can see 3 field goals being an outcome in the Memphis Showboats, honestly. I can see him hitting 3 field goals in that game and getting 9 points. That puts us at 35 points. So it's over-under 37. I'm going under on that. Okay? All right. Sunday, April 6th, 12 p.m. A noon game on Sunday. It's on ESPN once again. Okay. We got the Houston Roughnecks traveling to the Arlington Renegades. I don't have a great feeling about this game if I'm a Houston Roughnecks fan. Also, I find the Arlington Renegades need to lose a few games. They need to get my Brahmas back into this thing. I don't think they're going to lose this one. Renegades, dominant win against the Brahmas last week, 1-0. Houston Roughnecks got destroyed by the St. Louis Battlehawks. Really got destroyed by themselves, okay? So the DraftKings has this as a 9.5-point spread. It has the Arlington Renegades winning by 9.5 points at home, and Houston Roughnecks losing by 9.5 points. Obviously, they're an underdog. The over-under is 39. I think that's not going to be that. I think the Renegades are not going to be as pleasant as like a DC Defenders team. Their defense is not quite as good as DC Defenders, so they're going to keep pouring it on that run game. That run game is going to be huge. I think the Roughnecks will not be able to stop their run game based on how they got beat up by the St. Louis Battlehawks. I think Arlington Renegades' offensive line is much better than that. So I think it's going to be ugly for the Houston Roughnecks and head coach C.J. Johnson. I got to go in 34-10. Arlington Renegades over the Houston Roughnecks, 34-10 over the Roughnecks, 34-10. I got the over going too, 44 points. I don't think the Arlington Renegades are going to be pleasant to work with. They seem unpleasant against the Brahmas. Okay, last game is the Brahmas, Sunday, April 6th. That's Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Okay, San Antonio Brahmas at the St. Louis Battlehawks. This is first of 2 times San Antonio has to go play the St. Louis Battlehawks. It's uncool. They only get 4 home games, and they got to play 2 games at St. Louis. The hardest place to play, really, in terms of fans and fan noise and all that. Brahmas are 0-1, and they need to quickly get this thing turned around. St. Louis Battlehawks are 1-0, and they need it. What do? They run the ball. Manny Wilkins is going to run the ball when needed, but manage the game. He's not going to beat you. He's just going to manage the game. He's not going to get beat by you. You're going to have to force him into some mistakes defensively. Defensively, St. Louis Battlehawks look solid. I mean, they're not overly impressive on defense. Their D-line was good, but the Roughnecks' offensive line is horrible. Their secondary looked good, but Roughnecks are horrible, and they give up a big play against them. So, DraftKings has this 7-point favorite St. Louis Battlehawks. San Antonio Brahmas, 7-point underdogs. Over on 39.5. I'm saying a lot. I'm thinking about it. I'm really putting some thought into it. Okay. All right. The over-under is 39.5. Got it? 39.5. I got this going 24-16. Unfortunately, it makes me sad to say. I got the Brahmas losing. I got them putting up more points than they did last week and playing better than they did last week. I got them losing 24-16. 24-16. And that's going to come down to the offensive line on both sides. St. Louis Battlehawks offensive line got the whole unit. Got the offensive player of the week from the UFL. They played pretty well. San Antonio Brahmas played horrible. So I think that's going to be a deciding factor, is that basically St. Louis is going to come grind them down. I got them grinding out 24-16. I got the Brahmas making some more plays down the field compared to last week. I think the defense is not as good as the Battlehawks compared to the Arlington Renegades. But we'll find out. So there we go. To recap, I got Birmingham Stallions beating the Michigan Panthers 25-20 on Friday night. I got the DC Defenders beating the Memphis Showboats 26-9. So far, I agree with the odds from DraftKings, although I got an over and an under on that. And then Houston Roughnecks and Arlington Renegades, we got 34-10, and I got the over on that. Arlington's a 9.5-point favorite. I got them winning by 24, so I got them, definitely going with that. I don't think Houston Roughnecks will cover that spread. San Antonio Brahmas versus St. Louis Battlehawks. I got to go in 24-16 St. Louis. I think it'll be a hard-fought game. I think the Brahmas remember beating the Battlehawks in the playoffs. I think the Battlehawks remember Brahmas beating them in the playoffs. But they lost to the Battlehawks right before the playoffs. So, it can go either way. If you remember regular season last year, Brahmas could not beat the Battlehawks. They had 3 losses and 2 were to the Battlehawks. Then they beat them in the XFL Conference Championship game. It just feels like a St. Louis Battlehawks win. That crowd's going to be, lit, most likely. Boom. Okay, so that's the UFL, okay? It's the UFL. Next in the IFL, there were several transactions. IFL Mass Pirates, they have signed quarterback Felix Harper, maybe looking to make a change at quarterback, getting Kenji Bahar out of there. He just doesn't have it. They released kicker Timmy Bleekrode. They released Timmy Bleekrode, okay? Tulsa Oilers, they played this week. They activated offensive line Patrick Barrett off the injured list, and they moved running back Lecovente Gonzalez to the injured list. I think that's going to hurt their offense a little bit. But, man, most of their offense goes through T.J. Edwards. So I don't think it'll hurt a lot. It probably won't make a big difference, honestly. The O-line is probably more important than their running back, actually. Green Bay Blizzard making several moves. Okay, they re-signed linebacker Jalen Johnson. They activated wide receiver Harry Ballard, and they signed defensive back Gervin Hall Jr. So they're trying to take care of their secondary. That looked real bad against Iowa last week. They're trying to make a change at secondary to fix that. That's one of the 4 spots. O-line, D-line, DBs, secondary, and quarterback. They have the O-line and the quarterback. The D-line was and the DBs were horrible. So if they want to get back to a playoff run, they have to fix that defensive backfield and that defensive line. But they didn't really do much for defensive line. So maybe they think linebacker, they're going to blitz that linebacker most of the time. Maybe they think he can cover up the problems they have there. They're going to release wide receiver Terrell Carey. They released defensive back Andrew Perkins. They released running back Joshua Mack. Okay, so that's IFL transactions. IFL predictions. Now, usually when I do IFL predictions, you can usually bet on these games on DraftKings. I'm not saying we should bet. I'm not going to bet money, and you shouldn't bet money. Gambling is bad, but I like to use the stats from Vegas, from these betting, these gambling websites to help compare my stats and thinking to them. It helps a lot with making predictions and fixing things along the way. I couldn't find any lines today, and they're playing the first games tomorrow. They'll probably come out tomorrow. I might I'll probably talk about this again tomorrow, with the betting lines included, but they don't have any right now. So I'm just going to talk about my predictions. So first game of the IFL Week 3 is going to be tomorrow night, April 4th at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Tulsa Oilers, who are 1-0, are going to travel to the Fisher Freight, who are 1-0. This should be a huge defensive battle. 2 good defenses. at two very mobile quarterbacks. Should be a fun game to watch. I got the Oilers because I think the Oilers defense is, they're more skilled. This is their third year as a team. They got TJ Edwards at quarterback. I think he's superior to Jaya Wright. I got the Fisher's Freight hanging in there strong. Their first home game. It can be crazy in Indianapolis. This time of year it's pretty chilly. Like indoor football, you can get a lot of people there. Fisher's Freight, if they lose this game, sometimes Indiana people are fickle, and you'll dip off quick with your attendance. So they really want to win this game. This should be a big game. 1-0 versus 1-0, battling for the top of the Eastern Conference early on here. I got Tulsa Oilers winning 31-26. I got this being a defensive battle, but decent scoring. 31-26. Tulsa beating the Fisher's Freight. A little piece of me wants that to be wrong. Okay, of course I want to be right with my prediction. A little piece is like, I wish I was wrong, but we'll see what happens. Last week I was, 4-2 with my IFL predictions. 2-2 the week before. 1-2. So I'm 5-4 for the season so far in IFL. So this would put me in a pretty good spot if Tulsa won this game. But like I said, Fisher's Freight, I'd love to see them win and become a really good team. That'd be fun. Being from the Indianapolis area myself, it'd be fun to go out, see that team really be cool. They have a nice stadium, very brand new. That's awesome for them. Okay, that's Friday night's game. Tulsa beating the Fisher's Freight tomorrow, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. You can watch that on the IFL Game Pass. Saturday, April 5th, 8:05 p.m. Saturday night game. Quad City Steamrollers 2-0. Travel Iowa Barnstormers 0-1. This is a rivalry game. I would say, just looking at the records, Quad City Steamrollers should beat the Iowa Barnstormers. But the Iowa Barnstormers really impressed me last week against the Green Bay Blizzard. They played a lot better than I expected them to. I don't think they have what it takes. I don't think they have what it takes to beat the good teams in the IFL. I think they'll beat a couple bad teams. They'll be in Northern Arizona Wranglers. There'll be a couple teams that are into Tucson Sugar Skulls. I think they'll beat a couple teams. But to beat the Quad City Steamrollers, who are 2-0 and sit at the top of the conference, it would help me in Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville Sharks. It would help them to have Quad City lose. But I just don't think it's on the road, but it's not that far. It's not far enough to even have. Quad City's not going to have a party at a bar. So they want them to come to Iowa. And they're in Moline, Illinois, if you didn't know where they're at. So they're just down the road, really, from Iowa. These are the closest rivals for the most part in Iowa. So I got Quad City and Daquan Neal being a superior team here. I think they have a slightly better secondary than the Green Bay Blizzard, at least from last week. I think they're a little better than that. Intercept a few passes. Their linebacker, Bubba Arslanian, he's a much better player. I don't see Green Bay. Last week, they didn't have a guy like that on their defense. So he's a next-level player. But I do think Iowa's going to put up a real good fight and have a chance to steal this game at the end. I got to go on Quad City Steamrollers 44, Iowa Barnstormers 41, with an over-under 85. We'll see if the betting line comes out, and then we'll compare what we have there. But I got Quad City defeating the Iowa Barnstormers on the road, 44-41, over-under 85. Okay? All right, Sunday, April 16th, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. 1-0 Arizona Rattlers travel to the Green Bay Blizzard. Green Bay Blizzard made several moves. They're trying to fix that secondary. They're trying to get some offensive playmakers going. They know they have to play better against the Arizona Rattlers. The Arizona Rattlers are the most complete team in the IFL for the second year in a row. So, one thing that's going to hold Arizona back are injuries. They do have two quarterbacks, so I think they're protected from injuries. Dalton Snead and Drew Powell are both very good, so if one gets hurt, I think they'll be fine. In the past, that was not true. They had one of each of those guys, and when they got hurt, their season blew up. But I don't think that's the case right now. But it's 1-0 versus 1-1. This is a big game for the Blizzard to show they can compete against the best teams from the West, which tend to be stronger than the Eastern Conference. Arizona travels to Green Bay. It's on the road. It's a long trip. It's going to snow inside that arena. They have snow, probably from Disney on Ice or whatever, but still it has a cool effect. It will be a lot of crowd noise. Green Bay, another place that's cold. They want to go into an indoor game. They want to be indoors and make a lot of noise. I got the Arizona Rattlers winning this game 48-36 with an over-under 84. I don't think Green Bay has what it takes to stop Arizona Rattlers offense, honestly. Sunday, April 6th, 6:05 p.m. Eastern. We got the Vegas Nighthawks 1-0 going to the Jacksonville Sharks, who are 1-0. Best in the West, theoretically, versus the best in the East, theoretically. This could be an IFL National Championship game. Preview, when I made my preseason picks, I said these two teams would play for the IFL National Championship. Vegas Nighthawks, Jacksonville Sharks, they're both 1-0. Vegas stole a game that they were losing to San Diego Strike Force. I think I got the Sharks 2-0. I think they're 2-0. I don't remember. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. So Vegas Nighthawks, I got this being a tough game. Both teams are going to move the ball. Jimmy Robinson and Caleb Barker are going to score points. I think the Jacksonville Sharks have a good defense, but I think they're going to struggle to stop Jerome Johnson at quarterback. That guy's like a tank. Okay. So it's going to be a struggle. He's very athletic. So I got this going because of the home field advantage, honestly. I got the Sharks winning this 42-38 with an over-under of 80. I don't know if it's going to be over or under, but I got 80 total points. 42-38. I think the Sharks have to pull out a win after being down to the Vegas Nighthawks. Don't be down to them too long. They are talented. They'll put you away. Next, Sunday, April 6th at 8:05 p.m. It's a loaded Sunday of IFL games. The San Diego Strike Force trying to bounce back from they should have won last week. They had to lead into the fourth quarter, and then they choked it away and dropped the game to Vegas Nighthawks. They're traveling to the Bay Area Panthers, who had a similar effect with the San Antonio Gunslingers. They had a lead on the Gunslingers in the first half. Then they broke down. Gunslingers went up 28-14, and Bay Area made a little bit of a comeback. Those two teams that should have won last week that did not. I think it's going to be a battle in Bay Area. The San Diego Strike Force are not quite as good on the road there at home. Bay Area Panthers seem to be struggling, but they have a little bit better defense. So I got this game going. Battle of 0-1 teams. I got Bay Area picking up the first one 44-42. Total points 86. So I have it being a close game, a shootout, 44-42. Bay Area has a better defense. I think that's going to push them over the top. Boom. All right, that's the IFL picks. Boom. Next, NAL news. First big news coming out of Omaha. Omaha's 3-0. They're on a bye week this week, but they did struggle. They got beat by the Minnesota Warriors in a preseason game. Doesn't count. They, came back. They bounced back. They destroyed the Shreveport Rougarou 50-18. Come on, Rougarou. Let's get it together. Let's get a win against Idaho tonight. Okay. Then they struggled mightily. They struggled mightily last week against Idaho Horsemen, okay? In between, they beat the Colorado Spartans. Nothing spectacular, but they did beat them. But their offense has been not right the whole season so far. They look good against the Rougarou. Rougarou made a lot of adjustments to their personnel. Maybe they'll be better. But the Omaha Beef's offense has not looked great. They still can grind it out. Their quarterback has grounded out. He has ran the ball. They've had to grind out some wins, but they're according, relative to their previous standards. Remember, this team is a championship level team. Okay, 2024 they won the NAL. They've never lost an NAL game. 2023 they won the CIF championship. They're a fixture in the indoor football world that's not in the IFL. So they want to be the best. They want to carry themselves as if they're the best. The slaughterhouse is the hardest place to play. They want that all to be true. That doesn't feel that way right now. So with that in mind, they fired head coach Mike Tatum, who was their OC in 2023 and became their head coach in 2024, won the NAL championship. Offensive coordinator James Terry filled in the role for Mike Tatum in 2024, won the NAL championship, but they've had a slow start to the season, even though they're 3-0, and they're yanked. Boom. Ownership says, we're sorry, man. We just got to win these games. We got to win by a lot more. We got to be cool. We got to blow these teams out of the water. We're supposed to be the best. In our mind, we're the best. We can't be looking shabby. Along with firing the head coach, Omaha Beef signed offensive lineman Jacob Vasquez and released wide receiver Prince Shinola. Okay, remember, Shreveport plays Idaho tonight. Columbus Lions released quarterback Taj Thomas. Remember, they picked up Vincent Espinoza from Shreveport via the Carolina Cobras. It's like Taj Thomas is out. NFL news. We got the New England Patriots trading quarterback Joe Milton. One of their backup quarterbacks, they said they were open to trading him. They're trading Joe Milton plus a 7th round pick to the Dallas Cowboys for a 5th round compensatory pick. really cheap price for a backup quarterback. Remember, Cooper Rush was in Dallas, went on to Baltimore. So you got to look at Dallas. They're looking for a backup quarterback. Joe Milton was available. They picked him up for a cheap price. They gave him a 5th-round compensatory pick. That's not even the pick they were counting on having. And Joe Milton goes to Dallas to be a backup behind Dak Prescott, and they get a 7th-round pick too. So that's pretty good value. Washington Commanders cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. He was a rookie last year. When he played at Ohio State, he was number 2, but last year he was number 23. As a rookie, sometimes you don't get the respect you want. And he didn't get the respect. He didn't get to wear the number he wanted to wear. But he's going to number 2 now. He must have made an impact. Okay. Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Geno Smith. If you remember, the Seattle Seahawks traded him to Las Vegas. He's getting paid. He just signed a $75 million extension that can be valuable up to $85.5 million. That's going to keep him in Las Vegas until 2027. He's guaranteed $66.5 million. Detroit Lions running back Jamar Gibbs. Last year wore the rookie. He didn't wear a number he really relates himself to from Alabama. University of Alabama. He's from Dalton, Georgia, actually, I believe. But he's going to switch to 0. That's right down the road. Boom. Wide receiver Jamison Willis. He's switching his number to number 1. So the same as he was at Alabama. A couple Alabama guys getting their numbers. Okay. Arizona Cardinals. They're making Pro Bowl tight end Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history. He's getting a 4-year extension for $76 million. Why? Because he's one of 4 players in the NFL last year to only drop 1% of his passes when he's had over 100+ targets. That's really good. He's one of the top 4 guys, best hands in the league. So they're paying him. They say, we need you to be a fixture on this team for 4 more years. Great for Trey McBride. He was on my fantasy team last year. Ate up a lot of yards. Good job, Trey. Okay, Chicago Bears. They signed veteran quarterback Case Keenum. 1 year, $3 million to be a backup behind Caleb Williams. When Case Keenum was in Houston, he was like a mentor to C.J. Stroud. So Case Keenum's had his day. He's been a flash in the pan. But he has a lot of leadership skills. And he helped C.J. Stroud really get comfortable in the NFL. And now they want Case Keenum to come to Chicago. If he has to play because Caleb Williams is hurt, I think he can do that. He's capable of doing that. But he's also going to mentor Caleb Williams and try to get him to get in a pro mindset. Los Angeles Chargers free agent cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. is getting interest from San Francisco 49ers, Las Vegas Raiders, and Arizona Cardinals, all on the West Coast. That's good. I think he probably likes it on the West Coast. It's nice out there. Kansas City Chiefs reunite with veteran safety Mike Edwards. Contract terms were not released. Tampa Bay Buccaneers restructured safety Antoine Winfield Jr.'s contract to free up $15.86 million in 2025 cap space. They're trying to make some room to sign these draft picks, I believe. And, get more free agents and create some more cap space. Boom. Okay, sad story. Buffalo Bills running back James Cook wants a contract extension. Now he's trying to add some leverage to it. He's putting his house up for sale in Orchard Park. If you don't know, the Bills Stadium is in Orchard Park, New York. It's not in Buffalo. Within the city limits is at Orchard Park, which is right outside the city limits. He has a house in Orchard Park, which is right next to the stadium and practice facility, but he's selling it. Okay, he's saying, no, man, if we're not getting an extension, I'm out of here. Maybe. Trying to give himself some leverage. Arizona Cardinals offensive lineman Jake Curhan signed a 1-year deal. Chicago Bears signed wide receiver Miles Boykin and signed defensive back Shane Wall. Green Bay Packers changed their coaching staff. DeMarcus Covington is now defensive line coach and run game coordinator. Defense coordinator, I'm sure. Senior assistant Luke Getsy is now going to fill that role for the Packers. And now quarterback coach for the Packers with, Josh Love, Jordan Love is Sean Mannion. Okay. Washington Commanders signed defensive end TJ Maguraneugu. So we'll see if it makes an impact for them. Boop. Okay, CFL. Some signings there. Winnipeg Blue Bombers signed American wide receiver Jordan Porter. He played at UConn. They also signed American offensive lineman Aiden Hemphill. Along with that, he played at Texas Southern. The Ottawa Red Blacks, they have had American wide receiver Kateo Summers retire, and they signed American defensive back Derek Pitts Jr., who played at North Carolina State. So everyone's making moves right now. Everyone's getting ready for the CFL draft and getting ready for training camp. at the end of April, it goes bang, 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 bang. It's very fast in the CFL. Going into training camp, going into the season. It's slow, slow, slow. Bang, 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 bang. Next, the ELF, the European League of Football, the Hamburg Sea Devils, who have, they played in the first 2 championship games in the first 2 years of ELF, but they haven't been back since. They really had some hard times. 2 back-to-back really bad losing seasons where they haven't made the playoffs, even sniffed the playoffs. They had signed offensive lineman Frank Turrell, and they signed lockdown cornerback Nazir Streeter. So they're trying to fix the roll line. Good sign. Trying to fix their defensive backfield. Good sign. They got the right recipe. They know how to win. They just need to get the right people. Losing Glenn Tunga was a kiss of death for them. They've never really recovered from losing Glenn Tunga. Next, Paris Musketeers. They're a pretty good team. They're going to have defensive back Maxime Roger, he's French, to return in 2025. He's a good player for them, consistent player. Munich Ravens in Germany have signed offensive lineman Shinazo C.K. Obobi. He's from England, so he's British. Offensive lineman Shinazu C.K. Obobi. I don't think he's that kind of British. He's not like, hello, my good soul. He's some other British, The Farabar Enthroners signed offensive guard, offensive tackle Amos Leoy. Once again, they're trying to fix the row line. They think they're seeing how to win. They just got to fix it. Ryan Fire have signed American wide receiver Rory Starkey. Boom. Madrid Bravos, who were a huge breakout team last year in their first year in the ELF. They killed the Barcelona Dragons. It's over for Barcelona. Madrid Bravos took over, allowing the Nordic Storm to appear. They have signed 24-year-old defensive lineman Pierre Yves Maho. We'll see if he makes an impact. Last year, he played 12 games for the Helvetic Mercenaries. He had 39 tackles, 7 sacks, 16 tackles for loss. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Big loss for the Helvetic Mercenaries, but big gain for the Madrid Bravos. Okay, I recommend tonight checking out the Shreveport Rougarou against the Idaho Horsemen. We'll see if another head coach gets fired. Omaha Beef is going to look different. They don't play this week. They play next week at Beaumont Renegades. I don't know if that's going to look. Who's going to be their head coach? A lot of questions, not a lot of answers. We're going to find out though, see how it goes. What do you think, Wolf PD? I think you should check out our shirt with our wraps on. Gridiron Grit, and you could like that and subscribe to the channel, and let's go Rougarou! All right, remember, if you want to read some articles about the UFL, check out UFL News Hub. You want to check out some articles about the CFL News Hub. If you've not ever paid attention to the CFL, it's a really fun league. Then you have the Substack, Football Scientific Substack, with those articles on there in one place. And then make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Have a great night. Let's go Rougarou! Rougarou!